A little hot out here today. You soldiers standing in the field out there, go and rest. Go and rest until we call you back to attention and parade rest. Do it now. Distinguished guests, friends, family, thank you for being here. There are a lot of family members here, so I want to recognize some of those right up front. Joining us today are Rick's spouse, Deanna, and his sons, Crew and Connor. We also want to welcome the Mosikowskis. Joining Shannon here today is his spouse, Brenda, son, Jacob, daughter, Denali, and father, Joe, mother, Martha. I want to welcome you and thank you for your presence here today. I know it means a lot to both Rick and Shannon to have you here. We gather here to honor the outstanding service of the Yulians and welcome another great command team to the Rakkassans. I'm saddened that we are saying goodbye to the Yulians, but at the same time I'm also inspired by these magnificent troopers of Task Force Red Knights. Their distinguished lineage traces back to World War I, as you know. The battalion fought heroically in France, participating in the Lorraine campaign, Meuse-Argonne, and Saint-Mihiel offensives. And without fail, they have provided timely and accurate fires that turn the tides of war. It was the same valiant Red Knights who parachuted and glided into St. Mary Glees 67 years ago, almost around this time frame. And in that fight, many heroes gave up their lives, and many ordinary men became heroes. These were men of legendary stature and part of our greatest generation. And prior to this inception of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, I often wondered if we, the present-day soldiers, can stand up for the legacy of our forefathers. And after the inception of this war, my question has been answered, that standing in front of you here today are present-day troopers of Task Force Red Knight in the flower of our youth. These troopers fought heroically in the most complex, most kinetic area of operations in eastern Afghanistan. I purposely placed this magnificent battalion in our decisive fight in Coast Province because of the trust and confidence I have in Rick Yulian's leadership. And in that single year in Coast, commanding the biggest task force in 3rd BCT, Rick and his troopers crushed the insurgency, capturing or killing hundreds of Taliban. Dozens of those were mid-level commanders, initiated millions of dollars worth of responsible development projects, settled 60-year-old tribal disputes, conceived a plan for the first Justice Center in Coast, reinforced 100% of key terrain districts in accordance with the CG's intent, and established a superb relationship with the host governor, chief of police, and his A&A counterparts. A moment that may have encapsulated Task Force Red Knight's accomplishments in Afghanistan was during a VIP visit. I remember that day fairly well. I remember during a briefing with General Petraeus when my S2 was giving a roll-up on the effects slide, and General Petraeus, noticing how many enemy combatants that Task Force Red Knights had pulled off the battlefield, jokingly said, and I quote, "Now, I'm not a competitive guy, but how did Red Knights capture more bad guys than Task Force Iron?" As you may know, P4 commanded that great task force a few years back, and this, Rick, may have been one of your proudest moments. However, for me, the defining moment for me was when Rick and several of his troopers risked their lives by jumping from hovering aircraft into the torrential water during the last summer's monsoons to save dozens of Afghans from certain death. The end result was the most magnificent scene I've witnessed in Afghanistan, and that of hundreds of Afghans clapping and cheering on our soldiers from the banks of the river. Many of these Afghans undoubtedly had relatives in the Taliban. Some of them may be Taliban themselves. Nevertheless, compassion, honor, and humanity prevail amidst this cruel, cruel place. And Rick, you ought to be very, very proud of your phenomenal accomplishments, because I'm intensely proud of you and all your soldiers. So on behalf of all Rakkassans soldiers, NCOs, and officers, I sincerely thank you for your leadership and selfless service to our nation. For everything Rick did for his soldiers on the war front, Deanna was splendidly operating as the Red Knight Senior Advisor. Her contributions to our soldiers and families were innumerable. I don't think any words can suffice your commitment to our soldiers and families. I just want to simply say thank you on behalf of the families of our soldiers.